No, we're gonna try this again. I have been trying to upload videos for the past 3 days, and I don't know what's going on with the live stream or with all kinds of stuff. So anyway, yesterday in my car, the same post that I was trying to put up. Apparently, these iPhones draw the heat from the sun, and so I had the phone. It overheated, and it kept glitching out on me. I was thinking it was the area I was in, so I kept trying. Um, and so now I'm trying to sit in my backyard. I think I have a live stream now. My post yesterday, I was just inspired by what I just encountered. I had the opportunity to speak to young ladies who are debutantes being introduced to society. They 16, 17, 18, and getting ready to graduate from high school. And they are young and impressionable and full of purpose and full of um, so much potential. And I, I just was very taken aback by the intensity of them hanging on to every word that it was. I had invited my daughter Holda. She came and she spoke to the young ladies, and when we were done, we prayed. And my cousin Desiree came and she spoke to them about. They spoke to them about college and about creating businesses and about creating friendships and safe places and being finding mentors, people to walk through this life with you. And the purpose of the class that I taught yesterday, it was a health, beauty, and business class. And although I am Hebrew Israelite, I am walking in Torah. I am a beautician. I'm a stylist and also by craft and I do makeup art of a woman, but from the inside out. So I am always trying to bring a woman back to that place where her beauty comes from within first and then the exterior. So we talked about the what makeup is, and we talked about the covering and how people are covering. And again, um, by all means, if you have issues and if you have things that you are working through, I would suggest you don't wear makeup until you have worked on self, the inner self, why it is you do what you do. Um, and you are only as beautiful as you feel. So I don't care how much makeup or how many clothes or how much you expose or whatever it is you do. Shalom, sis. Um, Beauty comes from within. So in saying all that, get back to what I was talking about as being the change that you want to see. And I see so much because we stop, we channel surf. Sometimes I get stuck on not Desperate Housewives, Housewives of Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop, and it is such a misrepresentation of who we are as a people, as women, as men. We are not all drama. We are not all superficial, although a lot of us have issues that we are working through. But when I say be the change you want to see, it's sickening. It's tasteful to see all of the women at each other, and there is no camaraderie, no sisterhood. There are no women that are there for one another. And so many of us come from these places where there's already brokenness. We come from homes where there's brokenness. Sometimes we understand or even realize that we have been broken or things that happened until we got out on our own and started having children and raising children and triggers and things start to come about. I'm very transparent, so I share. I'm okay with me. I like me. I've gotten to that place, and it took about 28 when I realized I did. After going through so many different transitions, being, why are you so headstrong? Why you this? Why you why do you clam up and not say nothing when you are angry? Why? Because I probably shouldn't talk then, but just different things, or why you don't let certain people into certain places. And I found that there is not a problem with being exclusive. Exclusivity and protecting your circle and guarding that is very important. And back to being change that you want to see, I am big on safe places and sisterhood and brotherhood, and also helping people realize that they are more than they think they are. So with that, I was just very honored and also encouraged that these young women, and that their mothers, and that the deputy leader of the sorority asked me to open up my space and be able to speak to these young ladies. And I'm also honored to be able to have the ear of the women and some of the men of our community, just to them, and to share with them what Yah has put into my heart. And like I always say, I tell my Shabbat school ladies, I am not this person Yah only speaks to. No, he speaks to everyone. And those ideas that you have in your heart and in your head that you think aren't important, somebody needs that. Be that change that you want to see. When we have been given a portion of who he is. He is a creator. He is the creator, and we were created. But in us is the ruach, and those attributes of creativity and love and protection and wisdom. That is in us if we ask for it, or if we ask for the Father to reveal it to us. Also, I was just looking at something on a post, and it was the young man who was killed in Sacramento, who was murdered. And we sit around again and we talk and we complain and we murmur and we bicker about certain things and go back and arguing with each other, and nothing ever changes, right? We are, again, Hebraic. We are a concrete form and function people, right? So if you want something, if you want to see a change, you have to participate, and you have to get in there and do something about it. So if you want to see a change, talking never does anything. Um, there is a reaction that has to take place. Yah is the creator. He can speak things into existence, but there was still, the elements were still here. The dirt, the nothing. He spoke. He didn't just. It was activated because there was already something in it, just like the ground. The weeds come up because in the ground is already the weeds. So when we plant something, the weeds come up to it because the weed seed is already in the soil. And so just like with the apple, if the apple grows on the tree, it wasn't a worm in the tree. There was there was a worm in the seed, or the seed of the apple. That's how it got in. It's eating its way out. So those things to be activated, to work its way out, it's already in you. It's already there. That's the thing, that's what I wanted to share. To see, be the change that you want to see, you have to activate. That's within you. If that idea in your mind to complain about what you don't like, do something about it, because that's your idea, and you give birth to it. And that's how we give birth to things and birth ideas. And just same way with sin, you ponder on a sin long enough, you will give birth to it. So we have to learn how to shut those things too. I was just looking at my notes, and I'm gonna put my lessons back up because some strange way, I don't know how YouTube works. I'm figuring it all out. There was, it looked like the other two lessons that I put up, it looked like still loading. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is why this lesson that I did for Shabbat is taking forever to come up. So I deleted what looked like the lesson that was still kind of trying to stream or upload, and deleted the two lessons that I had up. And I demonstrated, but it's already in me. The notes are here already. So I'm going to put those notes back up. With titles come responsibilities. And I forgot the other lesson that I erased, and I'll find it somewhere because I have it written down. I'm organized chaos a lot of times because again, like I get an idea in my head and I have to write it down because I don't believe it's just age. I think with the more that I have to do, I forget to do, or by the end of the day, I remember it was something that I didn't do. I want to just talk about the inside out too. Be the change that you want to see from the inside out. It has to start. It starts with you, and we are so stuck on, again, like I talked about, the imagery that we get, that people have more going on than what this looks like. And so what I really dealt with the young ladies yesterday was, um, think about why it is you do what you do, what type of attention you want to draw, and be truthful with yourself, because I mean, you can lie to everybody else, you can't lie to yourself. Be truthful about why it is you do what you do. And then when it's your passion and it's your why, be unapologetic about it. And especially if Yah is, if it lines up with Torah. If it lines up with Torah and it can look crazy to everybody else. It can look like it's not working to anybody else. At night, you know, and that's what this walk is too. We are to walk circumspect, to be blameless, and to be a light, and to intrigue others to see what it is about this walk that has called us to do it. You work, you walk, and you remember that you're performing before an audience of one. You looking for one person's approval. Um, and as long as you're walking according to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and and are obedient to Yah, nothing nobody else says really matters. Wasting all the time arguing and trying to prove a point. The point will be proved by what you do. Again, it's not all the time about what you say, but it's what you do. Your walk and talk should line up, but people more or less watch what you do. I am going to be working on a blog, so pray for me. It came to me today because, as I was saying, be the change that I want to see. I want to see women um, loving themselves, men too, but women loving themselves from the inside out. When you work on within you and sit before the Father and be transparent with Him, and then are to what He shows you about who you are. You know, people probably have been telling you certain things a long time, but you can't receive it because it's not. You don't feel like it's been cultivated or spoken in love. But when you sit before the Father and allow Him to examine you, and when He reveals what He shows, what He reveals, what He sees in you, accept it and grow. And then after you obey that first truth, He will reveal more truths to you. And so from the inside out, you'll become healed and whole. And then you won't feel the need to mask or cover. And so my blog will be dealing with that. And I love women. I love them. I love the company of women. I love being able to bounce thoughts and ideas and to be to counsel. I especially love our seasoned women because they're full of age. All aren't, but some are. And I love being to sit and listen to their journeys. And so I wouldn't be the person that I am today if someone hadn't dealt with themselves from the inside out. So I want to be that same woman because I looked at those little girls, and as young, impressionable young women, all I had to measure, I mean, I had the elders around, I had elders, but I wasn't receptive to what they were saying. I wasn't receiving it because I was angry. So you're young, you're angry, you feel like, why does someone else care about me when another adult whose attention I want doesn't pay any attention to me, doesn't care enough to sit with me long enough and hear what's inside of me. But so I had my peers, and guess what? You know smarter than the ones around you. So you got 16 and 17-year-olds don't know no more than you do. I had to find that out the hard way, although I'm glad that I had a portion of wisdom not to do some of the things that my peers were doing. I got caught up in some of it, but not all of it. Praise Yah. With that, I just want to be the change that I want to be, and what I wanted. Be the thing that you have. Be that mentor. Be that safe place for a young lady that you didn't have. Be the one who, in love, speaks truth to them. Be the one that prays with a young lady. You know, we see hurt, we see pain, and young women, young men alike. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care about them. Be that person that cares, that can look in a child's eyes, that can listen past the anger in their words, and help them heal from the inside out, and mentor. And you will be surprised the difference you'll see when you take the time out to meet someone on this journey and to walk alongside of them and do life with them. You'll be so surprised at the seeds that you plant, and that the fruit that grows in season, in its season. And quit getting frustrated with family and people who don't seem like they don't get it right away. Live this walk out before them. Live Torah before them. Quit talking. Quit talking to them. Keep living it. I'm getting ready to do my removing the leaven from my home, and I don't have a spouse that's in Torah. So my thing is that we're gonna not eat bread, and we're getting the yeast for a week, 7 days. So I'm gonna make it fun for him. He's just going on a diet, so he thinks. But he'll be participating in me getting the leaven out of the house, although he doesn't know what it's about. I'm not gonna badger. I'm not gonna fuss. I'm just gonna get it out the house and continue to walk this walk before him. It gets frustrating sometimes. Because we have the arguments about, oh, you've been doing this for 40 years and all of a sudden you're doing something else. No, when truth is revealed to you, you obey the first truth, and Yah will reveal the next one to you. And so this walk, this journey, and being the change you want to see can be marvelous and awesome. Although we do, excuse me, although we do come upon some stumbling blocks and some disappointments and some swift transitions, continue to be the person that you didn't have, and be that change you want to see. And Yeshua did it. He was the change that he wanted to see. He didn't want to see any of us perish, so he came and he clothed himself in the flesh, and he did the work. He did the work, right? He saw that there was no one suitable to save humanity and creation but the one who created us, and he clothed himself in flesh, and he worked this out. And even when he transfigured on the mountain, he showed us who he was from the inside out. So I just think that it is just so timely right now to purge from the inside out, to examine from the inside out, to allow the Father to look at us, and us to reveal our hearts from the inside out. And you know, a lot of times our words reveal who we are. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect by far. Let me get in the car and let the traffic get crazy, or somebody cut me off, you be praying for me. But what's in me sometimes comes out. So, you know, we are not perfect. My desire is to please the Father. And my desire is to attain that and to lay hold of that which has laid hold of me. Chase after the one that was apprehending me. Apprehend him now and to see what it is, to find the treasures, the innumerable treasures in his word and in this walk, and even going through disappointment and heartache to see what it is he has for me. And so I am honored again to be able to just to get anyone's attention, for anyone to hear what I have to say, because if one hears it and it touches their heart, or it's something that was meant for them today, it was worth me sitting there. So with that, I will be signing off. I'm going to work on this lesson. I'm going to try to figure out how to put my notes. Like I said, I'm not all techie savvy, but I'm gonna get it together so we can so I can get those lessons up that I had erased. So with that, you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Shalom.